comes from it's all in your own head. It all comes from within your own head.
It all is.
So it's basically you have free will going between what you are capable of doing. It's where you can choose to walk either way you want to go.
That's right. It is your choice.
It's all inside of you. It's like all of it. You can. You don't want to live in like this one season world where you block out all the bad stuff because it's sometimes a legitimate reason it's there. And if you know bad, stay away.
Well, if it wasn't, you wouldn't know what good was if you didn't experience bad, and you wouldn't know what bad was if you didn't experience good. I mean, it takes both of them.
It's like a polarity.
Right.
I like to look at it as in a mathematical equation.
You're recording all this shit, ain't you?
Big brother. Let's go into the database. This is how much these humans know.
This is what I read into at Tony's in Colorado Springs. These dudes.
From Oklahoma.
That's awesome. This is Oklahoma, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. This is where God lives in Oklahoma. I'm telling you, He lives in Oklahoma.
And he's pissed.
Yeah, he's pissed. Yeah. You do know that up until this election, Oklahoma was the reddest state in America. And now we're the third reddest behind Wyoming and Utah. Okay?
Congratulations.
You know red and blue, right? Okay, that's all I wanted to tell you.
So Wyoming beat out Oklahoma.
Wyoming was, actually, Utah was number one reddest because Mitt Romney is a Mormon and from Utah. Wyoming is scared of the gun laws, so they got redder than they've ever been, and Oklahoma was already red. I mean, there was not one county went blue. Not one. In this election or the last.
I think Colorado's a blue state now.
Colorado's a blue state. It's
It
cool.
used to be red.
It used to be red. It's kind of blue.
Their gun laws are more lax here.
The hell with all this bullshit. Do you know the happiest people have Geico insurance?
They've got what?
Geico
Happiest
insurance.
people have Geico insurance.
Oh, Geico Insurance, the lizard.
Heck with all this bullshit stuff.
That's good.
That's a
That's good.
government employee insurance company. By having them, you're saying you're a government employee, and that falls into the whole legal
Well,
definition.
so is progressive. You know what progressive is?
Well, yeah, it's definitely very blue.
It's very blue. Progressive is very blue. And the guy that owns Progressive named it that for a reason. He is very progressively blue. He is probably as socialist as Obama is.
So tell the people watching, say I upload this to YouTube, for example.
I can't wait for this. This is going to be great.
No, for all those people with stereotypes about people from Oklahoma, what do you have to say to those people with those stereotypes? Because you're from Oklahoma and you understand the one-party system conspiracy, if you will.
Duopoly. It's called the duopoly.
Yeah.
Yes, there is not really a Democrat or a Republican. There is a Redemocratican or a Demopublican. There's not really two parties. It is a single party. There's no doubt about it. And the only way we're ever going to get through this is for the people who are smart enough to recognize it, to either form a new party and find some way to convince the rest of the country that there is a way out of this mess, or we are going to have to probably start splintering the United States and starting to secede like some of them have tried to do, like Texas and all that. Something's got to be a wake-up call.
What? Okay, let's just say we start a new party right now. Okay, what issues need to be raised immediately to protect this country, to save this country from completely disintegrating, if it's even possible at this point? What would you suggest? What are some of the...
The first thing we need to do is go back to the Constitution, and not only go back to the Constitution, but update the Constitution for the modern world. The modern world finds ways around the Constitution. The Constitution was written 230 years ago. People are finding ways around the rules because the modern world is different than it was 230 years ago. We've got to find a way to not only do the same rules of the Constitution, but we need to update those rules for the modern world and technology so that there's not a way to go around those.
Are you hinting at like the surveillance society we live at, when things like the Fourth Amendment get more detailed? Because some people get really nervous when you talk about tampering with the Constitution. But do you mean along those lines to clarify what we mean with
Yes, there's lines that are being crossed that should not have been crossed, because that's not what our original founding fathers envisioned. And I believe they were very. You know what? The only thing that bugs me about the original founding fathers is they were slave owners, and it took until Lincoln to fix that. I have nothing against black people. I have a lot of black friends. I don't understand this crap. I don't have anything against Obama. I just don't like his socialist policies. I don't care if he's black or white or red or blue or green. I don't like his policies. I want to be free. I want to be free. Let's go back to the Constitution, update it, and make sure that there's no way to get around it anymore. If people start getting around it again, it's time to update it again. So let's do Constitution 2.0.
What do you think about
Constitution
that?
also say that we should be doing that once we get into a tyrannical state. It gives us the authority.
It gives us the authority to do that with a constitutional convention. But the problem is, in a constitutional convention, not only can the good be brought up, the evil can too. And the problem is we're so divided that the evil could end up winning and making the Constitution worse than it is now.
That'd be scary. Because, like, look at the Supreme Court. If the commander-in-chief, if he's bought out and he's corrupt and he gets to pick the Supreme Court chief justices and they're corrupt, then the whole system's screwed up because they're the ones to determine what the Constitution...
Which is getting very close to happening.
It's been happening.
I'm off. I gotta go pee now.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you honestly record all that?
Yeah, it's still recording. You're in trouble.
Go ahead. I don't care. Hell, everything I said was true.
It is true. Well, what's your response to that? You know, there's a lot of debate over that. You know, and some say, you know, you just can't touch the Constitution. It's the law of the land. But does it need more clarification? You know, in terms of the Fourth Amendment, in terms of the First Amendment, with technology in the mix.
Well, see, I think it's the Constitution that got us into this mess in the first place.
Okay, let's hear that out.
Well, I believe it opened up a door for the Leviathans, to take over our country. I mean, the Constitution is a result of why the country is in the state that it's in now.
Okay.
I mean, you can't deny that, but you want to say that they're throwing the Constitution out, but really they're just modifying it, and it's just a tool, I think, for bankers.
So you think the Founding Fathers left some loopholes open to allow for the manipulation at a point later on? Well, they were. But
they were working on a 100-year, 200-year agenda, and most people don't. Most people only think about today, next week, a month, when your bills are due, and if you're good enough and you're disciplined enough, you can go to college, you can get a graduate degree, you can get a job. So most people have like 5-year agendas. So I believe these people work in 200-year agendas, and it's completely over our heads. And as long as they stay working in this slow pestilence, they'll win. And I think the Constitution is honestly one of the deceptive debt instruments they use to keep us under their control.
What drives...
They're saying, hey, this is going to be the law. We're going to make it so, you have to bring in our laws, the bar. Your lawyers have to pass the bar. Your judges have to pass a British accredited registry, right? That's not our laws. We were just fighting these assholes not too long ago, and now they've taken over our whole legal system, and our whole political system.
I'll make you show something else.
I mean, especially when you have, royalty, the daughter of royalty being president and her husband being knighted by the Queen, right? George Bush Sr. got knighted by the Queen in England. We were just fighting these people, and I believe they still have a grudge against America. I think they've taken us over.